Om Tapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Pratyorma mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last class, I have dealt with the topic struggle. If you have to achieve success, you should never stop struggling. Struggling makes you more and more strong, and it makes you more and more go towards reality. And it is very important, till you reach your goal, we should not stop struggling. Spiritual practice is another word for struggling. Struggling becomes meaningful when you are conscious of it every moment. When you take up a spiritual life, the most important factor is that every moment you must be aware of your spiritual practice. You should not give room to any other things that may disturb your spiritual aspiration. And so, on account of various factors, sometimes things happen in spite of you are not wanting them, but then you have to resist. That is, you have to struggle. Struggle for the cause of good, for the sake of realizing truth, realizing God. So, if you are sincerely and seriously desiring to realize God, you must be very prompt and disciplined in your practices. The spiritual practices make you steady and strong so that you can go forward in your spiritual path. So, today's topic, which I have selected from the Gospel, is that how to go towards God. How to go towards God. That's very important. So, everything is important when you come to spiritual matters. Every idea, every thinking is important. And you have to do it. That is a test of your sincerity. If you are sincere, you will do it without any excuse. So if you really want to see God in this very life, that means you must never stop your struggling towards that end. So that means all your activities must be for the sake of God. God should be the central factor. It should occupy the prominent place in your heart, very prominent place. Even though you are not seeing God visibly, you must feel that He is present invisibly. And if you are directing all your faculties towards God, then in an invisible way you will see how God is helping you towards Him, to go towards Him. So, from that standpoint, we have to value the activities. Whatever the work you are doing, it should be for the sake of God, for whom you have come, for whom you have dedicated your life. Sri Ramakrishna tells, God will certainly bestow His vision when you are able to give your whole mind to Him. Giving whole mind to God is important. Sri Ramakrishna himself tells in the Gospel why we are not able to see God in spite of us desiring to see Him, in spite of whatever practices we are doing. Why still we don't feel any attraction towards God? It is very simple. As Sri Ramakrishna himself has indicated, it is because the mind is occupied with other things. Simply telling I want to see God will not give you the vision of God. No. Simply telling will not work. You have to work for it. Simply if you say, I am feeling hungry, I want to eat vegetable bath, I want to take dal, I want to take this, I want to take that. Simply telling that, are you filling up your stomach? First of all, you must procure the food, you must prepare the food, you must spread the plate. So many activities are there in order to fulfill your desire of appeasing your hunger. So, first you desire, then you work for it. When you work for it properly, you get it. Properly, that's very important. It is more so when you come to spiritual life. Spiritual life means turning mind towards God. Spiritual life means dedicating everything to God. Nothing is yours. Nothing is yours. So the moment the idea of possession comes, immediately you must struggle. No, I should not entertain or encourage this idea of possession. The whole thing belongs to Him whom I am worshipping, whom I want to see Him. The whole thing is dedicated to Him. Nothing is mine, everything is His. That attitude must be made very, very strong. It must be made very strong. Then only you will be able to struggle properly. Otherwise, even struggling also is not done in a proper way. If you struggle in a haphazard way, the struggle loses its value. Instead of getting benefit, you get disheartened. You feel disappointed. Oh, I did so much struggle, yet I am foolish, I am like this, I have not improved. Yeah, the reason is you are not struggling properly. Doing properly, that's very important. That is, your attention should be there, what you are doing, whatever it is. Even it may be very minutest thing, your attention should be given. So, attention, proper attention is the first step in the spiritual life. So, everything has got immanence, everything has got tremendous value in the spiritual life. So, whatever work you do, know that the work you do is God's work and is His worship. Because when you bring God into your activities, then your activities transform themselves into a form of worship. Tremendous. Do your duties with one hand and with the other hold on to God. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna himself. He is literally directing us. Look, this is the way you have to struggle. Do you entertain this idea in your heart that all the work you have been doing is offered to God? Do you have that worshipful attitude towards Him? Then everything becomes easy. Then struggling itself becomes a happy way. You're not bothered about struggling. On the other hand, you feel more and more energetic in struggling. That means you get the result by proper struggling. Is it not a great thing? Work becoming worship? Is it not a great thing? So, ordinarily, what is the nature of work? It creates bondage for the embodied being and ties him to the world. He is chained, as it were, to the world. Actually, he is not willing to give up his body, even if he is advanced age. He just wanted to hold on to the body because he is so much deeply attached to this external world, and he doesn't want to disconnect himself from that. And these worldly involvements and worldly ways bind him more and more strong. Bind him to such an extent that it will not allow him to go towards God. It will put all obstructions on the way. It goes to such an extent, it even makes you to stop struggling. And the world hugs you. And you are lost in that hugging. Because you are hugging the demon instead of hugging God. Anything that is not oriented with God is considered impure. So, you have to associate work with spiritual idea. Then, instead of binding you, the work makes you release. It releases you from the bondage. That's amazing. If you take the spiritual ways, the work will pave the way for liberation. If you take worldly ways, it closes the door to freedom. It opens the gate of the prison. That means you are imprisoned in the world, as it were. Always hanging on desires and desires and desires and desires. So, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, instructing that you should do work for the sake of God. Think that work is God's work you are doing. That attitude itself will purify your thinking. That attitude itself will establish character in you. So, the aim of life should be to get rid of work. That means you should not be bothered by the work, because the work has a tendency to bind you. But you can't give up work totally. It is impossible. Work is needed. In fact, you are forced to work to reap the fruits of your past deeds. But the work you do should not bring you more bondages. In other words, it should be unselfish. If you have to work, well, work in an unselfish way. Sri Ramakrishna, however, warns that even unselfish work is only a means and not the end. To a question of a devotee about worldly duties such as those associated with earning money and so on, Sri Ramakrishna says, you can perform them too, but only as much as you need for your livelihood. You can engage yourself in activities to what extent you need them for your livelihood. Nothing more than that. At the same time, you must pray to God with tears in your eyes that you may be able to perform those duties in an unselfish manner. You should pray to Him, "O God, make my worldly duties fewer and fewer. Otherwise, I find that I forget you when I am involved in too many activities. I may think I am doing unselfish work, but it turns out to be selfish." So, if you are aware of what you are doing, then you don't tend to be selfish. At least it will put a check on that attitude. So Sri Ramakrishna advises that we may undertake only those works that present themselves to us and are of pressing necessity. We must perform them in a spirit of detachment and with constant remembrance to God. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling further, it is not good to involve in unnecessary activities. Because the more you increase activities, the result would be that you would forget God. That means mind is occupied by those things instead of the spiritual ideas regarding God. Unless you think of God, you can't get Him. That's what in the beginning I told. Unless you give your mind to God, you can't see Him. Because mind is a stage where you have to see God. So, how it is very important. Every step you have to be watchful and careful and attentive. The struggling itself is, as I said in the beginning, is another name for spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is nothing but struggling. Once Shambhu Malik, a devotee, prayed to Sri Ramakrishna to bless him so that he may spend all his money for good purposes such as building hospitals and dispensaries, making roads and digging wells. So his mind is running there in that direction. He is not telling that he is not praying to Sri Ramakrishna to bless him with the vision of God. He wants Sri Ramakrishna to bless him so that he can use the money for doing all these activities. That is, his mind is tending towards doing things rather than seeing God. Here Sri Ramakrishna corrects him. That's where you go wrong. That's where you are trying to bind yourself. If you are doing all these activities, it will be good if you can do these things in a spirit of detachment. But this is difficult. It is not easy. to do the work in the spirit of detachment. Whatever you may do, you must always remember that the aim of this life is the attainment of God, and not the building of hospitals and dispensaries and all such things. The first and foremost thing to be achieved, to be accomplished in this life is the attainment of God. To see Him, that's the first thing. First see Him, then everything else. First and foremost priority is to see God. So your priority must be fixed there first. Never divert your attention to any other thing till you see God. If God appears before you, will you again ask Him to build hospitals and dispensaries for you? A lover of God never says that. He will rather say, "O Lord, give me a place at Thy lotus feet. Let me remain as your most humble servant. Keep me always in Thy company. Your company is most valuable than anything else. Give me sincere and pure love for you. It's only through love I can stay at your feet." Why should you forget Him and destroy yourselves by involving in too many activities? Then Sri Ramakrishna tells, after realizing God, you may, through His grace, become His instrument in building many hospitals and dispensaries. You must know that God is working through you, and you are just an instrument in carrying out God's work. When that is well clarified, then we can do hospitals, we can do anything. So, here the most important point is that you must fix it very clearly. My goal in this life is to see God. All my struggling and activities are towards realizing that truth. If you are not targeting that way, you are binding yourself more and more into this world. Some people speak of showing compassion to others and doing good to them. Sri Ramakrishna tells in the Gospel, is the world such a small thing? And who are you? Pray to do good to this world. First realize God and see Him by means of spiritual discipline. First you discipline yourself. First you achieve what you should do. Then you do whatever you want to do. First you pass through medical graduation and internship, etc., before you step into practicing medicine. So, first realize Him. Then, if He imparts power, then you do good to others. Otherwise not. To people who talk of showing compassion to others, Sri Ramakrishna says, compassion to creatures? No, it cannot be. Not compassion for others, but rather service to the humanity. Recognizing every individual to be the veritable manifestation of God. Shivajnane Jiva Seva. Shivajnane. So, that attitude is very important. When you have that attitude that every being is a veritable manifestation of God, then you will know the significance of doing service to the God. Because God is your most beloved. The embodied being cannot remain even for a minute without doing any work. Swami Vivekananda says that all activities should be directed to the service of man, the manifestation of God upon earth. This will accelerate one's progress towards the goal of self-realization. With this attitude, you do any work, it becomes worship. Sri Ramakrishna tells the spiritual aspirant, live in the world, but in order to realize God, hold fast to His lotus feet with one hand, and with the other do your duties. When you get a respite from your duties, cling to God's feet with both hands. Pray to God with a longing heart to reduce your worldly duties, so that ultimately you are in a position to give up your hold on work once for all. And another important teaching, Sri Ramakrishna instructs in the gospel for going towards God. Go forward in your spiritual endeavors till you reach your goal. You should never stop. Stopping means stagnant. It is dangerous. You should never stop. Go forward. Don't get stuck up with temporary allurements. And don't get temporary satisfaction. I got enough. No. Until you see God, you should not say enough. And Sri Ramakrishna tells you a parable. It's a very significant parable. A great lesson for all the spiritual aspirants in the spiritual life. There was a woodcutter. Every day he would go and cut the wood in the forest and come back with a heavy load. And then he would sell them in the bazaar and get some money. It was not an easy job. He was working very hard, and it was not very easy to get the wood. The quantity of wood also he would be getting less and less, because he has to get proper wood. Well, one day when he was going to the woods, he met a holy person. Holy person always tries to help. And when he saw this woodcutter, he said, well, every day you are going and cutting this in the same area, go further. Go deep into the forest, go more and more. Where is spending your time only here on the borders? Enter into it more deeply. Then the woodcutter took that instruction. Well, the holy man has said, I should go. Let us see what he meant. He went forward, and when he went inside the forest, to his amazement, he saw plenty of sandalwood trees. Sandalwood. Very precious wood and very fragrant, and it has got a great market value. And he was so overjoyed. But then the thought came, well, the holy man said, go forward. That means I should not just be satisfied getting the sandalwood. I must go forward to see what exactly the holy man meant. So, even though he got sandalwood and he became quite a rich man, he became a rich man, no doubt. Sandalwood is very costly. Then because the holy man had told him, And he was very attentive and very alert also. So he continued his walking in the woods. Then he came across a gold mine. First of all, silver mine. Silver mine. He was jumping. He was rising from joy to joy. He could not contain himself. And that holy man, how he has blessed me. And silver, he became more rich. Then again he continued his journey. He get into gold mine. He became more rich. And finally he got into diamond mine. Diamond. And what happened? The result was he became rich as a god of wealth himself. God of wealth. The god of wealth is called Kuber in our Hindu system. Kubera is the god of wealth. He became Kuber, richest man in the world. So when he got into diamond mine, he got final fulfillment. Well, I have got. In the same way, you must go forward in your spiritual endeavors. On the way you may get some tidbits. Don't care for them. Go forward. When you see God face to face, you will be overwhelmed. When you reach that state of overwhelming, you really enjoy samadhi, that is blissful state, where you feel perfect union with God. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling you, instructing you here, go forward in your spiritual endeavors till you reach your goal. Never be stagnant. Never be stagnant. Let us try to follow what Sri Ramakrishna has said. Every moment you have to think of God. Every moment should be used up properly. And you should never stop struggling till you reach the goal, till you see God, till you communicate with Him. God is there. As a person, He is there. He is not visible to us because the mind is impure. Mind is to be purified, then one can see God. Sri Ramakrishna did see Divine Mother, Kali, and he saw all gods and goddesses. And he said in one of the teachings in Gospel, he has said that all the forms of gods and goddesses are real. So you should not have any doubts anymore. So the next teaching Sri Ramakrishna is giving you, choose the spiritual path which appeals to you. Choose the spiritual path which appeals to you. Have faith in it. Stick to it. Let us continue this topic next Tuesday. And let us live spiritual life properly. And let us make our life blessed. Vijay Goswami asked a question. How, sir, can one have the vision of the primal energy and attain Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of the attributeless Brahman? Master said, pray to him with a yearning heart and weep. That will purify your heart. You see the reflection of the sun in clear water, in the mirror of his eye consciousness. The devotee sees the form of the primal energy, Brahman with attributes. But the mirror must be wiped clean. One doesn't see the right reflection if there is any dirt on the mirror. As long as a man must see the sun in the water of his eye consciousness and has no other means of seeing it, as long as he has no means of seeing the real sun except through its reflection, so long is the reflected sun alone 100% real to him. As long as the eye is real, so long is the reflected sun real, 100% real. That reflected sun is nothing but the primal energy. But if you seek Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of the attributeless Brahman, then proceed to the real sun through its reflection. Pray to Brahman with attributes, who listens to your prayers, and he himself will give you full knowledge of Brahman. For that which is Brahman with attributes is verily Brahman without attributes. That which is Brahman is verily Shakti. One realizes this non-duality after the attainment of perfect knowledge. The Divine Mother gives her devotee Brahmajnana too. But a true lover of God generally doesn't seek the knowledge of Brahman. There is another path, the path of knowledge, which is very difficult. You members of the Brahma Samaj are not Jnanis, you are Bhaktas. The Jnani believes that Brahman alone is real and the world illusory as a dream. To him, I and you are illusory as a dream. God is our inner controller. Pray to Him with a pure and guileless heart. He will explain everything to you. Give up egotism and take refuge in Him. You will realize anything. You will realize everything. The Master sang. He sang, "Dwell, O mind, within yourself. Enter no other's home. If you but seek there, you will find all you are searching for. God, the true philosopher's stone, who answers every prayer, lies hidden deep within your heart, the richest gem of all. How many pearls and precious stones are scattered all about the outer court that lies before the chamber of your heart." He continued, "When you mix with people outside your samaj, love them all. When in their company, be one of them. Don't harbor malice toward them. Don't turn up your nose in hatred and say, 'Oh, this man believes in God with form and not in the formless God. That man believes in the formless God and not in God with form. This man is a Christian, this man is a Hindu, and this man is a Muslim.' It is God alone who makes people see things in different ways. Know that people have different natures. Realize this and mix with them as much as you can and love all, but enter your own inner chamber to enjoy peace and bliss. Lighting the lamp of knowledge in the chamber of your heart, behold the face of the Mother, Brahman's embodiment." Let us stop here. Spiritual life starts with the mind fixed on realizing God. If the goal is not fixed, then the spiritual life is not started for you. Before you take a path, you must know where you are going, where you want to go. It is not simply groping in the dark. So you have to, yes, I want to see God. Then the spiritual path opens up. You can walk through. Every moment is very precious. Every moment you must be practical. You must face all hurdles. You must not be shaken. This is very important. And then always keep going forward. Go forward, go forward. Don't be carried away by tidbits. You got little name, you got little fame. The mayor of Chicago gives you award. He has become a very noble person of the whole Chicago. Don't get enamored and get lost. There are tidbits. Just throw them out. Don't give attention to them. Then you may be recognized by the President of America. Don't recognize. Don't be fooled by these things. You must be recognized by God Himself. Then that is the real achievement. Everything else is trash.